Hi everyone, in this video we are going to make a navigation bar which will look something like this. So this navigation bar has two sections. This top section which contains the email address and phone number, and on the right side some social icons, and in the bottom section we have this logo and some links, and we have a hero image and some glass effect. So this is what we are going to make in this video, and this is also completely responsive. So if I shrink down the page, you'll see the navbar changes and we have this hover effect on the links. So let's start. So I've opened up VS Code here, and I've created two files. One is index.html and second is style.css. In the index.html we are going to write the HTML markup, and the style.css will write the CSS for the code. So in the index.html, let's write the boilerplate. I'm using Emmet. So write exclamation mark and press tab. This will insert the basic structure. This is the talk type declaration, which states that we are using HTML5 syntax to structure the page, and then we have this HTML element or HTML tag, which is the entire wrapper tag, which is the main tag that wraps every content of our page. And this is divided into two parts. One is the head part and the second is the body part. In the head part we have some metadata, which is data about data. We have meta car set. This is the UTF encoding that we are going to use, and this viewport content width equal to device width, and this meta tag is used to enable responsiveness depending upon the width of the device. And then we have the title. Let's change this to navbar example 4. Now I'm going to add the link to our style sheet. So style.css, and then for this project I'm going to use font awesome icons. So let's include the CDN of it. Search for font awesome icon CDN, and this is the one. Click on this button, copy link tag and paste before the style.css file. Now let's write the markup. Our markup will go inside the body tag. This is the main container which will hold the content of a page. In here we use tags to lay out the structure of the page in a semantic or meaningful way. So our page is very simple. So we are going to wrap the page inside a header. So inside this we'll have the navbar and the content of the hero image. So let's first write the content of the hero image. I'll give it a class called center glass. This will be a div. Inside this I'll just have a simple h1 navbar example 4. Now let's create the navigation section. As I've already told you that our navbar is divided into two parts, the top row and the bottom row. So inside the nav tag we'll create two divs. So one will be top nav and one will be bottom nav. Now inside the top nav we have the contact, that is email address and telephone number, and on the right side we have the font awesome icon. So what I'm going to do, I'll wrap this in a address tag, and inside the address tag I'll use the font awesome icon. So this is the font awesome icon. So this is the font awesome icon code that we are going to use for envelope. So if you go here, font awesome icons, click here and search for envelope. So this is the code, this is the icon. So if I click on this, I can just click on this to copy the code, and now I'm going to just paste it. Then I'll create a span tag, get in touch @gmail.com, and then I'll have the phone icon. So we have this code for the phone icon, and then I'm going to create a span tag. So this is an inline element, it will go next to the icon 834522, this number. So this is the left part of the top nav. Then we'll create the right part. Inside the right part we have 4 icons. So these are the icons that we are going to use. I'm going to copy this and paste it. Now let's see. Right click and open with live server. So this is how it looks like. After the top nav, this is the code for the top nav. Now let's work on the bottom nav. So in the bottom nav we have the logo, which I'm going to wrap inside a h1 tag. It will be just navbar, and then I'll have an unordered list. Inside this I'm going to create list item li, and then inside the li we have the a tag, the links. So this will be home. Just duplicate this 4 times. About, blog, testimony, and contact. So this is the bottom nav code. Now for the mobile menu, I'll have an entirely different type of navigation. So what I'm going to do is, after this bottom nav, I'm going to create a new navigation for the mobile version. So mobile navigation, I'll create a div with class mobile. So when the user view the page on a mobile device, this navigation section will get triggered and this will get hidden. So this we'll achieve in CSS. So first let's write the markup. It will be simple h1. I'm just going to copy this entire section and paste it here. So this is the markup for the page, and now let's style it. The first thing that we are going to do is to include the font. So I'm going to use Montserrat. So this one, click here and click on this get font, this get embed code. After this I'm going to just copy this entire import and paste it at the top of the CSS file. Then I'm going to declare some variable or properties for the color. So I'll write primary hash 1d 1f25, and then for the secondary color, I'll have hash 7e 8b aa, and for the text color I'll declare 3 properties only. So hash b6 bbc9. Next I'm going to select all element by using the universal selector. I'll set the margin 0, padding 0, box sizing border box, and I will remove the text decoration from the links. This will be none, and I'll add a transition property 0.5 second all ease in out. So this will apply to every element. In here we have the small project, that's why I am just including these property in the universal selector. But when you are doing a big project or some project, you should not do this. You should be more specific. Then I'm going to style the body tag. The font family will be Montserrat, and the fallback will be sans serif, and then background color will be this primary color. Now let's style the I tags. The color will be secondary, and I'm going to write cursor pointer. Then I'm going to target the A tag and the span tag, and I'll just set the color to text. Then let's work on the header. To add the hero image, height will be 100 VH and width will be 100%. Background image will be this pg.jpg. Background size will be cover. Background position will be center, and background repeat will be no repeat. So let's see. So we have this header. Now let's create the glass effect. So center glass, I'm going to target. I'll set a position absolute, Let's set the height to 35%, width to 35%. From top it will be 55% down, and from left it will be 50%. Then I'll write transform translate minus 50% and minus 50%. Then background will be linear gradient from 135 degree, RGBA 255 and 0.1, 255, 0. And now I'm going to add the blur effect. So backdrop filter, this will be blur 10 pixel. I'll set a border radius 24 pixel. So let's see. I made a mistake here, blur blur. So now we have that class effect. Then I'm going to just center this H1. For this, what I'm going to do, I'll use display grid and place items, or place content center. So this will just place the H1 tag in the center of this center glass div. Now I'm going to change the H1, let's say white. So this is the hero section. Now let's work on the main task at hand, which is the navigation bar. So write navigation bar. I'm going to target first the parent element, that is the nav. I'll set display flex. So both the divs are horizontally aligned, but I want these two divs on top of each other. So I'll change the flex direction, because the by default flex direction is row. I'll change this to column, so it will come down. And then I'll set a width to 80% and margin from top 0 and right and left auto. So this will center the entire nav bar. Then let's work on the top bar. So top nav, display flex, justify content, space between. See, we have this top bar, and I'll set a margin top and bottom 16 pixel, right and left 0, and I'll give it a padding, but padding bottom I'm going to give 16 pixel, and I'll set a border bottom 1 pixel solid. This will be a secondary color. So let's see. Now I'm going to give a margin to this element. So I'll target FA phone, and I'll set a margin left 8 pixel. And in this I tag, what I'm going to do is give it a padding right 8 pixel. So we'll have this padding. So this is aligned properly. Now let's work on the bottom nav. Bottom nav, I'll target the bottom nav. We have this class bottom nav. I'm going to set display flex, justify content, space between, and align item center. So this nav is for the mobile version, which I'm going to hide when the user is viewing this page in the desktop. So ignore this for now. Now let's work on the logo. Logo is H1. I'll give it a color. This text color, and I'm going to increase the font size to 2.4 rem. Now I'm going to work on this UL. So first I'm going to change the display property of this UL to flex. So the default behavior for any parent which is display flex is to align the children in a horizontal manner. So this will align our links. We don't need to do display inline block. I'll just write display flex, so our link is aligned. I'll do list style none, and I'll set a gap of 16 pixel. So we have this gap. Now let's work on the hover effect. So for the hover effect, I'm going to set the position relative to this A tag, and then I'm going to use a pseudo element which is after on this A tag, and I'll draw a line. So first let's target the A tag. I'll set the position to relative because I want the pseudo element to be positioned relative to this A tag. So UL li A. Now I'm going to create the pseudo element after. Content will be none. Let's set the position to absolute. Display block. Width will be 0. So initially the width will be 0. Height will be, let's say, 2 pixel. Background will be this text color, and let's first give it a width 50%, 100%. So it will take up the entire width of the A tag. So this is how it look like. So initially we will have the width set to 0, we don't see it, but when we hover over this A tag, the after element will be shown. First I'm going to adjust the position of the width. So initially it is here, I want to push it a little bit down, so I'll write top 24 pixel. Now let's work on the hover effect. So UL li A, when you hover over it, you change the after element width to 100%. In here we have to add a transition property, 0.5 second all ease in out. Here what is happening is we have specified transition property to the universal selector, but we need to be more specific. So here if I write after and before, then I can safely remove this. Now let's remove this mobile menu. So I'll target the mobile class and I'll set display to none. So this is the navigation bar for the desktop version. Now let's work on the mobile version. So mobile, I'm going to use media queries. So add media only screen and max width 600 pixel. So when the device width is less than 600 pixel, this media query will get triggered. So I'm going to first target the nav tag. I'll give it a height of 60 viewport height, and I'll set the width to 100%. Background will be this primary color, and I'll set a position to relative. First let me show you how it look like. So this is how it look like. I'm going to add this position property relative, and I'll set a z index to take it out or move it up on the normal flow. Now in the mobile version, what I've told you, I'm going to hide this top nav and this bottom nav, and this mobile version will be activated. So I'll target the top nav and I'll target the bottom nav, and I will set the display property to none. So this is hidden. Now let's target the mobile version. Display flex direction will be column, align item center, and gap will be 25 pixel. And after this I'm going to work on this UL. So I'll write nav mobile UL. I'll use display flex direction I'll set to columns. I'll set a gap of 25 pixel and I'll give it the width of 100%. Then I'll target the LIs. So nav mobile UL LI. I'll set display to block, width to 100%, and I'll set a padding all around 16 pixel. Then I'm going to add the hover effect. So I'll write nav mobile UL LI hover. The background color will be this text color, and I'm going to just use the transform translate Y property to nudge it a little bit up. So -8 pixel. So let's see. And then I'm going to change the color of this when we hover. So I'll write nav mobile LI. When we hover over the LI, I want to change the color of the A tag. So color will be primary. And I'm going to remove the pseudo element. So nav mobile, when you hover over the LI, I want to target the pseudo element after, and I'll set the display to none, so we don't see the pseudo element. So this is the navigation bar for the desktop one, and we have created the navigation bar for the mobile one. So this is it. I hope you like this video, and if you do, please do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel, and I will see you later.